Lord to goodness, not again.
Please speak aloud what you listened.
Howdy, Drago.
Morning, Curly.
Makes 7 times this month he come home swoggled.
6. Six.
7.
6. Once was his birthday. That don't count. Now give me my buggy whip. Didn't have anything for breakfast but 2 raw eggs and a mug of honey.
No.
Curly!
Yes, boss.
Don't say it's a fine morning or I'll shoot you. Get out of here, Bunyan. Good morning.
Morning.
Carlos, what are you doing up there?
I hope I get it this time, Mr. McClintock. My brothers, they got the big hats already.
All right, let them have at it. Get over it.
Did you let me drive? You promised me you would sometime.
No, yeah.
Boss, you better watch that turn off the road. Yeah. I'm gonna kill both of us one of these days. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Boss!
You got cattle in the back, boss.
Give it up, yeah. Keep 'em going. $0.15 a pound all the way to Kansas City.
Now, boss, there's one old pensioner I wished you would pass up.
Bunny?
Yeah.
I knew where I'd seen his face before.
He's old timey. He's just been around town a couple of years.
Oh, you have no milk of human kindness.
Morning, Mr. McClintock.
Morning, Bunny.
Well, I can see you're in good health.
Never felt better, contrary to what you may hear.
Me, my kidneys ain't what they used to be in me. My liver's been leaving me bilious.
Drago? Hello, Ben.
Dave McClintock.
Drago, throw that in the buggy.
Yes, sir. It's a scrubby bunch of Sooners, huh?
They are at that. It ought to make Douglas happy, lining his pockets with land fees.
What are we gonna do?
I don't know what you're gonna do, Ben. Me, I do nothing. $200 families. Quarter of beef a week per family. $200 families. Quarter of beef a week per family. They last 2 years. That can be a sizable number. I got 20 head. One of any other brand on the Mesa Verde. I'm not hollering. Some of us haven't got all the money in the world. Some of us ain't old and tired and feel like being put upon. You interest me, young Ben. Go on. So the first time I find one of our hides wearing our brand, hung on one of them settlers' fences, I aim to kill me a plowboy. You do what you want, McClintock. We'll do what we want. Fellas my age generally call me GW or McClintock. Fellas my age generally call me GW or McClintock. Youngsters call me Mr. McClintock. All right, Mr. McClintock. Not because I'm afraid of you. You're the big he-stud of this country. And I reckon a fella my age should call you mister.
Full grown now, GW. He's a half owner of the spread. I made him a full partner the day the doc gave me the long face.
Well, you want him to vote the first time this territory becomes a state, don't you?
Of course I do.
These settlers get burned out, there'll be a lot of hollering. This country's too wild to be a state. We'll go on being a territory some more. With a lot of political appointees running into according to what they learned in some college. Where they think that cows are something you milk. Indians are something in front of a cigar store. I'm looking to you to hold young Ben down.
I'll do what I can.
Come on over to the house once in a while. We'll rack up a few hands of stud. Come on over to the house once in a while. We'll rack up a few hands of stud.
Heat up, that'll be just fine.
It's a nice morning, ain't it, boss?
Everybody's entitled to their own opinion.
Like that again, eh? Here's something that'll cheer you up. About 1,000 head. I figure they'll bring about 1,250.
They're not as fat as I'd like to ship. They all off the North Range?
Yes, sir. Settlers. Every one of them with a plow and a Bible. Not the slightest idea what the range is for.
Drago! Drag out that hog leg.
Yes, sir.
Get me some attention.
People! People! Come on, all of you. Gather around. People, come on. Gather around.
I'm McClintock. You people plan to homestead and farm the Mesa Verde.
Yes, sir. The government give us each 160 acres.
The government never gave anybody anything. Some years back, a lot like you came in. You had a pretty good first year. Good summer, easy winter. But the next year, the last rain was in February. And by June, even the jackrabbits had sense enough to get off the mesa. And by June, even the jackrabbits had sense enough to get off the mesa.
Folks, do you know who that is? That's McClintock. George Washington McClintock.
I told him that, Douglas.
He controls the water rights on 200 square miles of range. You know that lumber you got? It came from his land. Cut by his loggers and milled in his mills.
Douglas, I come close to killing you a couple of times when we were younger. Saddens me I didn't.
Can you imagine a man who owns all that? Oh, and mines too. I forgot to mention them. All that. And he's begrudging poor people a measly 160 acres.
That right, Mr. McClintock? You begrudge us a little free land?
There's no such thing as free land.
You begrudge us a little free land?
There's no such thing as free land. If you make these homesteads go, you'll have earned every acre of it. But you just can't make them go on the Mesa Verde. God made that country for buffalo. Serves pretty well for cattle. But it hates the plow. And even the government should know that you can't farm 6,000 feet above sea level.
Any trouble, Mr. McClintock?
No trouble, Jeff.
How about you, Douglas?
Douglas. Just plain Douglas, eh? And you call him Mr. McClintock. Why?
Well, Douglas, I guess it's because he earned it.
Mr. McClintock?
Yeah?
I'm a good hand with cattle, Mr. McClintock. I'd like a job. I'm a good hand with cattle, Mr. McClintock. I'd like a job.
Well, you look strong enough. You come in with those Sooners?
Well, yes, sir, but we don't have a homestead and...
Can't use you.
Half life, ain't it, Sonny? Hell, ain't much future in being a farmer around these parts.
Ladies, this is the finest Chantilly lace available anywhere. Ladies, this is the finest Chantilly lace available anywhere.
Chantilly, Mr. Birnbaum.
Well, believe me, it's the best.
Chantilly, Mr. Birnbaum.
Well, believe me, it's the best. Oh, excuse me, please. Look around. Take your time. Drago, I got 1,000 Havana cigars and 12 of those hats for you over there.
Them 12 big hats ain't gonna last long. The way some folks have been dipping into that red eye these days.
Uh-oh. Good morning, GW.
Good morning. I stole some stick candy.
Please help yourself. Come on in. Davy, you can forget about saddling up the horse. Come in here.
Problem?
Yes.
Well, if I were blacks, I'd move Queen's Bishop to King 4.
Yeah, you might be right. You know, I was just starting to work this out when the letter came.
Letter?
What happened? Don't you want it? Morning, Mr. McClintock.
Morning, Davy.
You being here saved me a trip. Oh, that hat and suit of clothes you picked out for my birthday? Well, instead of this cowboy hat, I'd like to have this one, if it's, all right with you, sir.
Well, that's all right with me, Davy. Of course, that looks like the kind of a hat a fella'd wear down Main Street to... start a fight.
Oh, I don't need a city hat for that. All I have to do is walk down the street and... All I have to do is walk down the street and... Some wiseacre will call me an Indian, and just like that, the fight's on.
Davy, the letter, it's for you. And you are an Indian.
Yes, I know I'm an Indian, but I'm also the fastest runner in town. I've got a college education and I'm the railroad telegrapher. But does anybody say, hello, college man, or hello, runner? Or hello, telegrapher? No, not even hello, knothead.
Davy.
It's always, let the Indian do
Will
it.
you go out in the store and help the ladies?
All right. I'm also a bookkeeper, part-time clerk. Always let the Indian do it.
The lady brought that out here this morning. Asked for it to be taken out to the home ranch for you. Handsome lady, kind of tall with red hair. Handsome lady, kind of tall with red hair. Called me Mr. Birnbaum just as if she'd never seen me before. And as if that veil that covered her face would keep me from recognizing her. I thought she was in New York or Europe or someplace.
So did I.
Jake, you better throw on a couple extra cases of the boss's favorite bourbon. That stuff sure gets used up fast out at our place. That stuff sure gets used up fast out at our place.
Which reminds me, you better start tapering off.
Catherine's in town.
Katie?
Morning, Mr. Clifford.
Morning, Mr. McClintock.
Good morning.
Hello, morning.
Back, darling.
Fauntleroy.
Morning, GW.
What are you doing in here? Why aren't you out at the desk?
Helping out the bartender. Helping out the bartender.
Yeah, I see a busy day. Give me the key to room 17.
What?
$17, and don't advertise it.
Here they come, Mr. McClintock.
Set 'em up.
Here, whiskey.
Day off?
Off day.
Wonder what he's so preoccupied about. Haven't you heard?
No, what? Katie's back in town.
Katie? Yes, dear. The social arbiter. Well, hi, Sonny.
Good morning.
He sure is the quiet one.
Mr. McClintock, I don't want to bother you.
I'm sorry, boy. I told you, no job. Catherine.
George Washington McClintock. I thought you'd want this.
First dig of the spur. But who am I to upset your plans? But you feel kind of silly.
I never feel silly.
It's because you have no sense of humor. Why couldn't we sit down in the hotel dining room and talk about whatever it is you want to talk about? Or why couldn't you just come over to the house?
And have everybody know that we're meeting.
Everybody knows, and what's the difference? We're married.
That is something I should like to change.
You know the answer, Katie. That isn't why you sent for me. Let's get to the rat killing.
That's just the kind of remark that's always endeared you to me.
Let us open the discussion.
Very well. Our daughter is coming home in a few days. Or rather, she's coming here. It was just a slip of the tongue that made me refer to this ugly hamlet as home.
Our daughter. Is it so hard to say her name? It's Becky.
Rebecca! I hate that name. Anyway, she's coming home. And I hope to persuade you to let her live with me. Part of the time in the capital, part of the time in New York, and of course, Newport during the season.
You're whistling in the wind, Katie.
If she stays here, she'll become just as crude and as vulgar as all of this.
And if she goes your way, she'll be all show and no stay. No go, Kate.
I hate you. Oh, how I hate you.
Half the people in the world are women. Why does it have to be you that stirs me?
Animal.
That's the story. I saw your picture in the paper at the governor's ball. You were dancing with the governor.
At least he's a gentleman.
I doubt that. You have to be a man first before you're a gentleman. He misses on both counts.
Hey, Sonny, you gonna ask him again?
Nope.
Hey, boy, you got a pocket of pride. You got a bag. You better listen to an expert, Sonny. I'm telling you, you got to grovel. Human nature gets 'em every time.
Mister, leave me alone.
Everybody does it one way or another.
About that job, Mr. McClintock.
I already told you, son, I've got no need for farmers. I already told you, son, I've got no need for farmers. Or use for them.
Just 1 minute, Mr. McClintock. My father died last month. That's how come we lost our homestead. My father died last month. That's how come we lost our homestead. I've got a mother and a little sister to feed. I need that job badly. I've got a mother and a little sister to feed. I need that job badly.
What's your name?
Devlin Warren.
Well, you got a job, son. See my home ranch foreman. He's over at the corral. See my home ranch foreman. He's over at the corral.
Step down off of that carriage, mister.
Hold that hog leg. I've been punched many a time in my life, but never for hiring anybody.
I don't know what to say. Never begged before. Turn my stomach. I suppose I should have been grateful you gave me the job.
Gave? Boy, you got it all wrong. I don't give jobs, I hire men.
You intend to give this man a full day's work, don't you, boy?
You mean you're still hiring me, Mr. McClintock? Well, yes, sir. I mean, I'll certainly deliver a fair day's work.
For that, I'll pay you a fair day's wage. You won't give me anything, and I won't give you anything. We both hold up our heads. Where do you live?
The settlers' encampment, down by the mine.
That's your plug?
Yes, sir.
That's your plug?
Yes, sir.
Well, hop on him and we'll go get your gear.
Morning, Mr. McClintock.
Morning, Mr. Poor Boy.
I'm sure that all you fine people are interested in knowing just what portion of this new land will be your new home. Just what portion of this new land will be your new home. Oh, Jones and McAllister, since you've been more or less the leaders of our group. Oh, Jones and McAllister, since you've been more or less the leaders of our group. I'd like to have you come up and check the exact location.
Won't be a minute, sir.
Go after that boy and give him $30. Tell him McClintock pays these riders a month in advance.
The looks of things, they could sure use it too.
Oh, Mom? It's Mr. Drago.
Well, and what do we owe this visit from the cattle baron?
I've got a touch of hangover, bureaucrat. Don't push me.
Hey, those are Indians. Are there Indians in this homestead land?
Friendly Indians, my boy.
Oh-ho, Macklin! Oh, running buffalo!
Oh, Macklin! Long time we no get drunk together.
And it's gonna be a lot longer time. Because it's against the law and you're with a sheriff.
And if I got my hands full, they came into town to meet the train. The old Indian chiefs are coming home.
I heard they'd been pardoned.
They don't know when it's arriving, this week, next week, or next month. So in the meantime, I've got to do something with them. Could I cut out a couple of head of your steers to feed them? Otherwise, some of these settlers' milk cows are going to disappear.
That's right, Macklin.
Cut out whatever you need.
Sheriff, are you going to encamp these savages with all these settlers? You're asking for trouble.
Mr. Douglas, I already have plenty of trouble. Please stay off my back. Running buffalo. Bring your people over to the clay slide.
Hello, Mr. Macklin.
Tiny Mouse, it's nice to see you. You wouldn't believe it now. But 20 years ago, she was a mighty handsome maid.
"20 years ago, you thought so too, Mr. Douglas."
It was just like this. I had a dead beat on old running buffalo. And my sharp 50 caliber misfired. That's back in that trouble in the forest. Remember?
I remember.
Hey. You want to taste something come directly from heaven?
No. Where'd you get this?
That boy's mama. You thinking the same thing I am? She's a widow woman, boss, and she's got a long, hard road home.
Hire her.
I always said you had a heap of sense.
Mr. McClintock, this is my mother.
Your mother?
And my sister.
Pleased to meet you, Mr. McClintock.
Ma'am, this here's my boss. And he has few choice words to say about your biscuits.
Yes, Mr. McClintock?
They're great. They're great. Well, you old Ken-knees reprobate, how about it?
You fire me? I kill myself.
I'm not talking about firing you, I'm retiring you. You've been rustling food for us for 30 years. We're gonna put you out to pasture. All you'll have to do is give advice. Be one of the family.
I kill myself.
I may save you the trouble.
Ching. You kill yourself, I'll cut off your pigtail and you ain't never gonna get to heaven.
I'll be one of the family.
I give you my solemn word.
Pretty clumsy family. Drink too much, get in fight, yell all the time.
Cut off his pigtail.
All right, I'll be one of the family. Dập lại đó, phải là dập lại đó.
This is such a big house, it'll take me a while to get used to things. Now, please don't hesitate to tell me if anything is wrong.
No business soup. Otherwise, just fine. Everything on nicely.
Who's
Finally,
having it,
fine.
ma'am?
Otherwise, just fine. Everything on nicely.
Who's
Finally,
having
fine.
it, ma'am?
Best apple pie I ever had.
Billy's right, ma'am. Hated to leave that last bite. Shall we celebrate with a drink?
Carlos, come in and help me with the dishes. Alice, you want to help too?
Yes, Jacob.
All right, pitch in. Now I'll wash and you kids can dry. Is that good here?
Don't seem possible one woman could use all them clothes.
You keep a civil tongue in your unprepossessing face.
Yes, ma'am.
And unload my baggage, please.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. By the way, what does that word unprepossessing mean?
Mrs. McClintock.
Oh, hello, Carlos. Run and help the driver with my luggage. I couldn't trust anyone else in this house to do anything correctly.
Luggage? Give him a hand, Curly.
Yes, boss. Mr. McClintock?
Are you moving back in?
Yes, but nothing has changed except my place of residence. And I'd be willing to put up with savages right. And I'd be willing to put up with savages right. Rather than be denied the company of my daughter. And I'm proving that by moving in here.
Mr. McClintock, since it's my first day, would you excuse me if I...
Well, go ahead. Oh, Catherine, this is Dev Warren. He joined the outfit today.
Please, ma'am.
Thank you. Well, how refreshing. A polite young man here. Where did he come from?
He's a farmer.
A farmer?
Well, I'll be doggone. Kate, welcome home.
on earth are you doing in that idiotic-looking outfit? What on earth are you doing in that idiotic-looking outfit? And don't you dare call me Kate.
That's my button suit. I'm butling for the boss. And I'm sorry, Catherine, that Kate. He kind of slipped out from the times I remembered you. He was being nice people.
Are you going to stand there with that stupid look on your face? While the hired help insults your wife?
He's just ignorant. He doesn't know any better than to tell the truth. And I can't help this stupid look. I started acquiring it as you gained in social prominence.
Mrs. McClintock, where do you want I should... What?
Put him in the master bedroom.
Yes! But move Mr. McClintock's things into another room. Oh, the one back of the stairs would be best so that he can't wake up the entire household. When he comes home every night. Just before daybreak.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, excuse me.
Here's your cigars, Mr. McClintock.
I am Mrs. McClintock.
Catherine. This is the cook. This is the lady does the cooking for us.
Mrs. Warren, Mrs. McClintock.
How do you do? Very pleased to meet you, Mrs. McClintock. Very pleased. Likewise. You see, I just came to work here today, and I guess I jumped to the conclusion that this was a bachelor's household. This was a bachelor's household. It is, and then again it isn't. I will explain so everything will be quite clear, Mrs. Wallace.
Mrs. Warren.
Mrs. Warren. It has been a bachelor's household for quite some time. And it will be again just as soon as I am out of here. Which will be as quickly as I can make arrangements. To take my daughter back east with me. You see, she's coming home from school in a few days. And then we'll be off together, and you can return to conducting yourself as you consider proper in a bachelor's household.
Katie.
Shut up! Until then, I am mistress in this house. And I will give the orders. Want my breakfast served in bed?
Letter. Ain't you gonna say nothing, boss?
Breakfast in bed.
No.
One tea, toast.
Oh, GW, as soon as my things are put away, I want to talk to you about Rebecca.
Yes, Mrs. McClintock. Indeed, Mrs. McClintock. Of course, Mrs. McClintock.
Toast, lightly browned and unbuttered.
Of course, ma'am.
Wait a minute now, boss. Where do you think you're going?
I just remembered I got a date.
She said she wanted to have a talk with
I heard. Good evening, Lem.
Good evening, Mr. Mac. Yep. Say, Mr. Mac, what does unprepossessing mean?
I was called that once, Lem. Looked it up in the dictionary. It's best you don't know what it means.
Uh-huh. Thank you.
What am I going to tell her when she asks where you went?
When in doubt, tell the truth. She wouldn't expect that from you anyway.
Where's Mr. McClintock gone?
There he goes, burning his last bridge.
Where's Mr. McClintock gone?
There he goes, burning his last bridge. You see a yellow streak about a foot wide running up down his backbone?
On Mr. McClintock? He ain't afraid of nothing.
I once thought that.
Drago?
Yes, ma'am.
Was that,
He took off, lit out.
told him I wanted to talk to him.
Ma'am, I was standing right over here when you said it, and I was... standing right out there on those front steps. That's when he walked up to a horse, grabbed a hunk of mane, stepped up on him and sunk spur.
Where did he go?
Last time I saw him, he's going east, but you know him, he's liable to go north, south, or west.
Get me a carriage.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am, but...
But what?
Maybe you shouldn't follow him into maybe where he's going into.
What does that mean?
I don't know, but I wish I hadn't said it.
I'll just get the carriage.
Yes, ma'am.
What happened?
Get the brooch.
Baruch.
Hitch it up. She wants to go to town.
But Mr. McClintock never said anything to me about it.
Look, young fella, I'm the... I'm the ramrod around this place, and you better start giving me a yes sir. You gonna get the roof of this house pulled down on your head.
Yes, sir.
Hello, lady. Hi, Mr. McClintock. New broom, eh? Big please.
Hello, Bunny. How is everything?
Oh, fine, Mr. McClintock. next time!
Well, look who's here. Well, look who's here.
What'll it be, Mac? Same as usual? What'll it be, Mac? Same as usual?
Ladies? Evening, GW.
Jake?
Wrong move.
What?
Chess problem. Queen's in danger.
I suppose you can do that.
Camille, you're on your own.
Mr. McClintock?
I'm Camille. Camille Reedbottom? I'm learning the game of chess. Thought it would give me something to pass the time. See, I have nothing to do all day long, and I just remembered something.
Catherine, I didn't hear you come in.
Mr. McClintock, I told you that I wanted to talk to you.
Not now.
Could I get you a glass of sherry, Catherine?
Oh, thank you, Mr. Birnbaum. I could use one. I came into town behind a runaway team.
Drago never could handle horses.
It was that young man whose mother pretends to be your cook.
Catherine, your wine.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Birnbaum. Now, Mr. McClintock, we have an awful lot to talk over.
First thing I learned about Indian fighting was to wait for daylight.
And what has our conversation got to do with Indian fighting?
Indian fighting is good experience for our kind of conversations. Oh, it'll wait, Catherine.
Evening, Sheriff. Mr. McClintock, we had quite a ride out here. Evening, Sheriff. Mr. McClintock, we had quite a ride out here. Oh, I finally got that team settled down.
Sure move.
No, it's your move. I just canceled.
Oh.
Now, look here. You're not going to sit here all night long and play chess. When the matter of our daughter remains unsettled.
I am going to remain here and play chess, and the matter of our daughter is settled. She stays.
Oh, such stubbornness.
Catherine, your hair.
Oh, it is a mess after that awful ride.
No, no. It's just that I haven't seen you for a long time. And it seems to me the last time I saw you, your hair was a little darker, no?
No, no. The tricks a man's memory will play, huh?
Mr. Birnbaum, I think that you've completely lost your mind.
You have done something to your hair.
I have not! If I had, it'd be none of your business. I'm certainly not going to put myself in the place of those blondine trollops that... I'm certainly not going to put myself in the place of those blondine trollops that... that you seem to prefer.
Fill it.
Oh!
Fill it.
Oh!
I was still at it all night.
Well, McClintock never quits.
I was still at it all night.
Well, McClintock never quits. But a burn bomb has to. Besides, the game is over. You got me. But a burn bomb has to. Besides, the game is over. You got me. Oh no, Mr. Birnbaum, you still got a good game. Oh, you play chess. Yeah, please, take 'em.
Pretty good.
Fair.
Well, looks like I won't have to come into town always to get a game. Remember, I'm a bad loser. It's your move.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Good morning. Oh, it's not morning already.
Cup of coffee?
Oh, yes, thanks, Jake.
You're welcome, Catherine.
Got any cream?
Canned cow's milk.
condensed milk. That reminds me. I was cleaning out my desk the other day. I found something I wanted to return to you. Here it is. From the President of the United States of America, to First Sergeant Michael Patrick Gilhooly. For bravery above and beyond the call of duty. It's your papa. Reminds me of the first time I ever saw you. It was over 17 years ago. You walked into my store, not much bigger than the bundle you were carrying. And in the bundle was the most beautiful baby I ever saw. Was she hungry? You walked all the way from Superstition Creek? Just to trade me that medal for a case of canned milk. GW was off somewhere as usual. Fighting Indians. Sheriff! Sheriff Lord! Well, have you seen the sheriff?
Kind of early for him. To try his house?
Why didn't I think of that?
Looks like Burn Bonds is open. Maybe somebody in here knows. So there you are, Sheriff.
I told you you were headed for trouble. Trouble?
I want to know by whose authority you let those Indians stay in town. Those savages are wards of the government, and I am the representative.
I told Sheriff Lord that he could put him up down by the clay side. I told Sheriff Lord that he could put him up down by the clay side.
Because the town's named after him, he thinks he owns it.
Well, you check the books in the recorder's office. You'll find I do own a fair piece of it. Agard, if you knew anything about Indians, you know that they're doing their level best to put up with our so-called benevolent patronage. To put up with our so-called benevolent patronage. In spite of the nincompoops that have been put in charge of it.
Those Indians need my permission to leave the reservation.
Those chiefs have been giving orders all their lives. It's pretty hard for them to understand that they have to hold up their hand like a schoolboy in a classroom.
The law is very clear.
I told you you'd get no satisfaction from these people. But we'll get the girl back.
Girl.
The girl the Indians kidnapped. But don't worry. I armed the settlers and set them to rounding up those red devils. I armed the settlers and set them to rounding up those red devils.
What is this about a girl?
Millie Jones, one of the settlers' daughters.
What is this about a girl?
Millie Jones, one of the settlers' daughters.
Indians kidnapped her.
That's ridiculous. And you turn loose a lot of farmers with shotguns?
I certainly did.
You're insane. Let's go, Sheriff.
Mr. Douglas.
Oh, Miss McClintock.
Much as I hate to agree with GW about anything, much as I hate to agree with GW about anything, you haven't changed a bit. You're still an hysterical fool.
Coming to town, I got worried.
What about?
Maybe Katie shot you.
Not yet, Drago, but it took restraint.
Wait a minute. You better take Agard along. Not that he'll be much help.
Drago, have him on the horse.
Just a minute.
I'll drive.
Yes, ma'am.
Agard, what are you doing?
Serious. Stay with him, Agard.
Will you stop showing off and get in this buggy?
Mercy. Mercy.
That horse is a little green. Let's go.
Just where do you think you're going?
Don't use that range boss tone of voice with me.
Ryder! Headed for Mr. Poor Boy's mine. Headed for Mr. Poor Boy's mine. Mount up some riders.
Right, boss. You heard the man. I don't like it, Mr. McClintock. I don't like it one bit.
What don't you like?
They're planning to hang an Indian.
Oh, Sheriff, very funny. Where's the whiskey?
Hold that!
Not so fast, Mr. Boss of the whole country. Not so fast, Mr. Boss of the whole country. Unless you want to wear a big hole in your middle.
How long is GW going to let that cheat-chalker push him around? How long is GW going to let that cheat-chalker push him around?
That cheat-chalker has a sawed-off shotgun.
How do you know she didn't wander off someplace? Or meet some fella or something.
What are you saying? That I didn't raise my girl right? That she'd wander off all night with some man?
a lot of things I'm not saying to you, mister. Well, you got a sawed-off shotgun in my middle. But how do you know this Indian had anything to do with it?
She's gone, ain't she? She's gone.
Pa! Pa! I'm over here! Pa!
Been looking for me, Pa?
Where you been, gal?
Young Ben took me for a sunrise ride, and the horse wandered away.
You come down over there.
Pa!
She's telling the truth, Mr. McClintock. We wasn't doing nothing.
Well, that's not important right now. The important thing is that you don't draw that hog leg. The important thing is that you don't draw that hog leg. This will be worse than Dodge City on Saturday night.
Get on, back to the wagon. I'll tend to you later. Now for this young whippersnapper.
Now, no harm has been done. And young Ben here is one of the nicest boys in the territory. So just put down that shotgun and
I'll
let's
teach
forget
him to fool with Mike.
Now, we'll all calm down.
Boss, he's just a little excited.
I know. I know. I'm going to use good judgment. I haven't lost my temper in 40 years. But Pilgrim, you caused a lot of trouble this morning. have got somebody killed. And somebody ought to belt you in the mouth. But I won't. I won't. The hell I will. Mechanic Rider!
Oh, Markland!
Remember me?
Hello, sir. Nice party.
Do you think you ought to? I ought to what? Why, you think?
Good morning.
You, I want to work with you. Hey, just a minute. What are you doing? My glasses. Hey, now stop this or you'll be sorry.
Stay out of this, Jake. It's everybody's war. Where's your whiskey? Flag! Sorry, McClintock.
Oh, Markland.
Thanks.
Aha, it's very funny.
Yeah, very funny. Guys, Mr. Douglas, I'm sorry. My age, Drago. Are you still down here? Hey! Horse walking away, huh? Honest, Mr. Jones, honest! Oh, get out of my way.
Nice left. Thanks.
I went to college. For this, you don't need college. You're not getting me down there. to you, Mrs. McClintock.
Buddy, you big... G.W. McClintock, you've been making clumsy!
Well, it's pretty hard to control yourself. Party! But no whiskey. We go home.
You and your friends!
Well, we at least saved your hat.
Where is everybody? Oh, for heaven's sakes.
Whoa!
Drago, will you never learn how to handle a team?
Yes, ma'am, I'll sure try. I'll tell you that now. Yes, ma'am, I'll sure try. I'll tell you that now.
Trimmy Fammy!
You want to lose your pigtail?
I lose face! Lousy lot of tips.
You want to lose more than that?
Lousy lot of tips.
You want to lose more than that? Kate?
Yes?
We could be a big help to one another.
Like what, may I ask?
Oh, we could wash the mud off of each other. We used to have quite good times doing that sort of thing.
There are a lot of things we used to do. Good night, Mr. McClintock.
Any luck?
What are you talking about?
I mean, divorce. She still want it?
Yeah.
You know something? Women are funny. She fought like a wildcat on your side out there this afternoon. Come home, she slams the door in your face. That divorce business is... That's what you get when you pay a woman not to live with you.
That's about it.
Some women I've known it'd be worth it.
You know, if we had any moral character, we wouldn't be standing here covered with mud drinking. When we should be washing.
GW.
Drago.
Miss Warren, these biscuits.
Oh, thank you, Drago.
Good morning, Mrs. Warren.
Morning, Mr. McClintock.
Breakfast for the boss?
If that's the way you want it, Mr. McClintock.
One poached egg, tea, toast, lightly browned and Why, Mrs. McClintock, you have a black eye. I do. Oh, and Becky's coming home today. And that's not all. There's a little something we'd better get settled. There are no men listening now, so we can be ourselves. Oh, sure, I let you get away with all that guff the other night. But now that we're alone,
When I want the opinion of the hired help, I'll ask for it.
You know, you could wind up with 2 black eyes. You know, you could wind up with 2 black eyes.
What?
Oh, I realize you had to put on that big act. We always have to just before we get ready to forgive them. Generally for something they haven't done. But you and I both know that's just to keep them from getting the idea. They run things. McClintock give you that black eye?
No! Nobody gave it to me. I want it.
Morning, Davy. Morning, Mrs. Beach. Mr. Beach.
Why, Miss Becky, welcome home. Why, Miss Becky, welcome home.
Hi, Ben. Good to see you again.
It's been too long, yeah. It's been too long, yeah.
I guess I'm gonna have to stop calling you Tom Boy.
Becky. Mama! Oh, darling. I wasn't sure you'd be.
Oh, I've been here a few days. Oh, Becky, I bought you 3 of the most beautiful dresses.
Uncle Greg!
Did you bring your old uncle a coming home present?
sure did.
What is it?
A mustache cup. And what did you get me?
Prettiest Palomino pony that ever packed a saddle. Prettiest Palomino pony that ever packed a saddle. Broke the stand, drowned, tie and the counter. Oh! Broke the stand, drowned, tie and the counter. Oh!
Uncle Jake! What are you doing in Mr. Douglas's tuba? Oh, Mr. Douglas has a had a little accident.
I brought you a whole shipment of licorice sticks. But now that I've seen how much you've grown, I think we better exchange them for a couple of bolts of dress goods, huh?
Thank you.
Oh, the mayor was going to be here. But he had to go to the territorial capital on a horse theft matter. But I'm going to give his speech. Oh, and don't worry about the mayor. I'm sure that he can find a bill of sale for the horse. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here to welcome the fairest... What am I doing? We are here to welcome back the prettiest girl that was ever born in McClintock. Or in any part of the territory. Hey, Davey! Yeah?
Wagon.
Yardmaster up to junction. Told me to let him ride, so I locked him in here. I've had my scalp a long time. And I aim to keep it.
And now she's come back to us. Gone are the pigtails. But the freckles are still on the prettiest face that was ever born in McClintock. But the freckles are still on the prettiest face that was ever born in McClintock.
Hey, that's Puma. And it's true. The government did turn them loose.
Good old Puma. I'll never forget when he brought GW home. Your father had a hole in his chest and 104 fever. Of course, they weren't very mannerly about it. He came past the house at a high lope and threw him on the doorstep.
And you do remember them good old days, don't you, Katie?
Yatta my friends.
Yatta
Puma, honored enemy. Puma, honored enemy. Puma, honored enemy. Puma, honored enemy.